Hi, I'm talking about the buck full supermoon that we're having today, and it really r- just rings of truth for me because it's in the sign astrologically of Capricorn. I am a Capricorn, so a lot of the qualities that this is bringing about is a natural thing for the Caps. So a supermoon, it's closer to the Earth. It's the first one that we're having this year, several to follow, including next month. So, and why is it buck? Simple explanation. This is when the deers, their antlers are really coming out. So that's why. There's many other names for this, depending on the culture. Now, I did mention that it's in the sign of Capricorn. And what qualities are going to be coming to the surface now, where you're going to be feeling like this is the time, this is just what you're naturally connecting to. Things like determination, practicality, no offense against caps. I I enjoy these things. Discipline, ambition. Again, these are things that are naturally in it characteristics of a Capricorn, but we all are going to be pushed in this area. And I like it because you're going to be noticing that you're inspired and motivated. Now is the time. Like, I really want to start accomplishing my dreams. So, this is the time to get clear, be still, write down your intentions about long term and short term goals. I do find it's healthy to do both because it gives you something to focus on in the meantime, like daily, right? Taking baby steps is easier than biting off the whole thing, right? Because it's so much easier to give up on yourself or whatever project you're working on if you don't do the baby steps, taking action steps, daily action steps towards your goals. So now is the time that you're really going to feel inspired and motivated to be more in alignment with yourself, what works for you, what your passions are. Now, again, though, it's a great time to reflect and evaluate the long term and the short term goals, but also maybe looking at the relationships that are working, that are not working, because if you're going through a particularly challenging time in a relationship during this full moon, you're going to be feeling more vulnerable and emotional. So that you might want to be a little more kind to yourself. TLC, try to look at the situation from a different angle, maybe above, flying above it instead of being in it. I do find taking that step back helps us. So, again, yes, if something's troubling you, you are going to feel more vulnerable during this full moon. Another thing that the moon is stirring up is feelings determination and a desire for stability in your life. I think that is something that we're all desiring lately with all the chaos around us, but we don't want free reigning emotions. Yes, we have to honor them. It's great to have that stability, but not to the point where you're being stuck. Honor your emotions, but don't give them free reign because you have to have responsibility. Because if you let your emotions reign you, give them free rein to do whatever they want, sometimes we can get into trouble because we're only looking at a situation from our perspective and not being responsible for the words that are coming out of our mouth. So again, balance in everything. Um, that's funny. We may also feel a need to have more balance in our personal life and our work life. And a lot of us are feeling torn in that area. All I can say is maybe cut back in a way, write a to-do list with less things on the list, but also putting the personal life as well on the list. Prioritize, but don't overload and things like that because that's a recipe for disaster, right? If you have 20 things that you have to do this morning, it's impossible. So cut back on the list, prioritize. And if you look at it, maybe not as a daily thing, okay, I'm going to put these three main projects that I need to get done today. You'll have a much more success rate. And know that, okay, as the week goes on, I'm going to be adding other things that need to get done. Not everything needs to get done today. even with the Capricorn energy, yes, be focused, create the life that you want to live, but be smart about it. Um, and looking at things from a bigger picture. Now, I would appreciate if you would subscribe. And some of the things I want to recommend is doing during this ritual full moon. You write down your intentions, you burn a candle, like put the paper on your altar or special place, burn a candle. Um, it's a nice thing to also incorporate being grateful that blocks are removed. Um, Going into nature, doing our walks, even if like I beautiful property here, just sitting with bare feet, getting the energy from the earth, that's another positive thing to be doing this time of year. I came across things about having moonlit picnics. I don't know about that. You're welcome to do it. But in the caravan, because it's so beautiful, I have been spending more time in nature, even, yes, going for our nature walks, but being out here because I'm completely surrounded by nature. So that's another thing. And now might be a nice time also to create either a vision board or a bagua and releasing things that are not serving you. Going into a meditation, connecting with the full moon energy. These are all things that are very nice to do with the intention of releasing what is not serving you and making room for things that do. So I appreciate a thumbs up and if you could subscribe to show your support. Many blessings. I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste.